Hi again, Mark here with ExoticCar PlayPlace. And I know a lot of you guys, and you know who you are BMW fans. And because you're BMW fans, I have an E60 M5. I'm going to share with you what the insurance costs are on this car. Dollars, brand new in the showroom. It's not new anymore, but that doesn't mean it's still not expensive to fix. The key here, of course, being is it is a $135,000 car, and replacement parts are as such. And with that in mind, consider this little factor. PLPD is your base insurance. That's what you want to have, and that's actually what you need to have legally to drive and own and operate this vehicle on the streets. The deal is, though, of course, this has aluminum panels on it, has an expensive engine, a lot of other mechanical parts that could get wrecked in a collision, and therefore you want to make sure you have coverage on all of those parts. So I would say PLPD is not enough for a car like this. That's really risking, and that's a gamble, throwing a dice on the table. So it really is a crapshoot not having full coverage because of that. So what I ended up doing is I've got collision on here and I've got comprehensive. So collision covers if I run this into a wall, that's protecting me. PLPD, of course, is protecting the other individual that I might run into, like a person on a bicycle, for example, or another car. So you can insure this thing on PLPD for $1 million, $2 million. By today's standards, everybody's suing everybody in the good old-fashioned US of A. And because of that, $2 million barely cuts the mustard these days. But as a bare minimum by law, I believe $500,000 is kind of the minimum. I still would recommend at least $1 million liability. Now that being said, moving on to collision. Collision coverage, again, if you smack into something and it was only your fault, you need that coverage. You want a lower deductible because a higher deductible ultimately save you money on your costs for the long term, but a lower deductible is kind of nice if you have an incident, then you don't have to pay a ton of money. So the other thing is, what I have on my insurance here, of course, is the kind of the comprehensive aspect. The comprehensive, could potentially cover you for floods or for other kind of stuff like that. So I just want to share with you the overall cost. I'm not gonna beat around the bush anymore because a lot of you guys are considering buying an E60 M5 like this. I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious what the insurance costs are. Some of you folks might be a little bit older, some of you might be a little younger. The key, of course, being understand this much. A clear record is going to save you money. So let's just take one quick look at my insurance. This is my insurance quote for this E60 M5. And again, considering that this is the best case scenario, I actually have a really good driving record, and because of that, I'm going to share with you, utilizing this, I basically have a $1 million coverage on liability, $500 deductible on the collision, and $250 on the comprehensive. And because of my clean record, even though this is a high performance car, the actual cost for my insurance, my annual insurance on this car is actually quite low. And as you can see by the bill here, my overall is actually only $930 even. So consider that. I know there's a lot of young people out there that are driving Honda Civics and Toyota Corollas for $2,500 a year because they have mediocre, record. Maybe they don't have a real clean record, so they actually wind up paying a lot of money to drive their, relatively modest vehicle. But in this case, proof is in the pudding. If you maintain a solid record, you shop around, you can actually drive a high performance car like this for relatively low dollars. So I'm going to show you my my paperwork on this, and you make your own kind of judgment on this. But again, the key here, clean record, and of course shop around. And this is my price for an E60 M5. There's your M5, and scrolling on down, you can see the coverage here. Liability at $1 million in this case, and over here we have the collision and comprehensive at $500 and $250 respectively, and that gives me a grand total of $930, all said and done. So again, in summary, everybody, again, I know a lot of you folks really enjoy the M5s and the BMWs in general. That's why I'm filming this, because it's a little more information for those of you who are curious, maybe don't have a car like that or considering one. I really do think this is one of the best cars on the street today because 500 horsepower in anything is a ton of fun. But here's a car with a trunk and 5 seats. So again, in summary, please subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll talk to you in the next one.